One day Parikshit had gone to inspect his kingdom. He found a bull that had 3 legs broken. It was moving around on its only one intact leg. And there was a cow that was crying by the side of the bull. In the meantime, one evil-looking man, he came and with a stick he started hitting the only intact leg of the bull. Parikshit was horrified. How dare anybody do something like this in my kingdom? He gave chase to the man and finally he caught up with him. And he said, "Who are you? And why were you perpetrating such a crime in my dominion?" One day, Yudhishthir saw Krishna sitting in meditation. Yudhishthir asked, "O Shyam Sundar, the whole world meditates upon you. Whom are you meditating upon today?" Krishna said, "Yudhishthir, I am meditating upon Ganga Nandan, Bhishma. He is lying on a bed of arrows and he is constantly thinking of me. It is my duty, ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajamyaham. As one worships me, I reciprocate accordingly, and hence I am obliged to meditate upon him." A few days went by and Yudhishthir felt remorse. He thought it was my greed to get the kingdom that caused the death of so many. So he approached Krishna. Krishna said, "Yudhishthir, it was not your fault. You need to get over this glani, this remorse, through knowledge. Understand dharma. What is dharma? What is duty in life?" Yudhishthir asked, "From whom should I understand dharma?" Krishna said, "The biggest marmagya of dharma, the biggest dharmagya is Bhishma in the whole world. He is about to depart. Let us all approach him." So the Pandavas and Draupadi and Krishna, they went to Kurukshetra. Now Bhishma was actually a great devotee of Krishna. He would meditate on the Braja Leelas of Krishna. When Krishna is grazing the cows, the dust of their hooves is on him. So Bhishma was a Rasik saint internally. And Bhishma knew that the Kauravas will definitely lose. There is no doubt about it. Yatra Yogeshwaraha Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhute Dhruvo Niter Paterma. This is where Sanjay ends the Bhagavad Gita. Wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjuna, there will always be victory. Bhishma knew that Krishna's side will win, but he still became the commander-in-chief of the Kauravas. Why? That was his devotion. He wanted to show that, look, the great Bhishma is fighting on the other side, and yet the Kauravas can't win. This, O Krishna, is my devotional gift to you. I want to glorify you by fighting against you and still losing. So Bhishma, when he was felled, he did not die. He had Svecha Mrityu Vardhan. He could die at will. That was the boon he had. So he got so many arrows into his body that when he fell, his body did not touch the ground. He was lying on this bed of arrows. And he lay there for almost 6 months, waiting for the opportune time. When the Pandavas along with Krishna and Draupadi reached there, now the sages all around the universe came to know that a spectacular event is going to take place. So these sages also started gathering. Durvasa came, Narad came, Vasisht, Atri, Vishwamitra, Pulastya, Pulaha, they all gathered. The Pandavas, they offered their pranam to the grandsire of their dynasty, Pitamaha Bhishma. Draupadi also offered pranam. Krishna remained close to his head. The Bhishma, he said, "Where is Keshav?" Krishna spoke up, "I am here, Pitamaha. Why don't you reveal yourself to me?" Krishna said, "It's my habit to keep myself hidden." Nevertheless, he came in front. Now Krishna is in front of Bhishma. Bhishma is not able to do pranam because he is on this bed of arrows. What to do? Bhishma offered pranam by shedding a few tears. Bhishma then said, "I am extremely thirsty. Can I have some water?" He had been lying there for 6 months. Krishna indicated to Arjuna. Arjuna understood. He shot an arrow into the earth. And the Ganga water from below, it spouted out and fell into Bhishma's mouth. His thirst was quenched. Bhishma said, "My head is also aching." There were no arrows on the head, so it was just like this. "Can I have a pillow?" Krishna indicated to Arjuna, "Give him a pillow worthy of the Kshatriya warriors." Arjuna shot 3 arrows under the head of Bhishma. He now got some support. At that time, Yudhishthira questioned him about dharma. What is the secret of dharma? Bhishma expounded in great detail. That is not in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is in the Maharaj. Now at the end, Bhishma said, "Esha me sarva dharmanam dharmo dhikatamo mata yad bhaktya pundarikaksham savairarchendara sada." He recited the 1,000 names of Vishnu, Vishnu Sahasranam. And then he said, "Look, the highest dharma that I know, this Trimangi Lal who is standing by your side, develop love at his feet. There is no higher dharma than this." Yudhishthira's question was resolved. But Draupadi started laughing. Bhishma asked Yudhishthira, "Why is your wife laughing?" A cultured woman should not be laughing in this manner. Yudhishthira said, "I don't know, she's never done it in the past. Ask her." Bhishma asked Draupadi, "Beti, my child, why are you laughing?" Draupadi said, "Maharaj, I am laughing because you have given this huge lecture on dharma. Tell me, when I was being humiliated in the assembly of the Kauravas, you were present. Where did your dharma go at that time? And what is this lecture in aid of?" Bhishma had to admit his mistake. He said, "My child, I admit. I was eating the the grain of Duryodhan, and hence I had gotten indebted to him. Now with the arrows of Arjuna in my body, the blood has got drained out. And that is why my intellect is absolutely pure." The Bhishma said then to Krishna, "I am about to depart. Before departing, I have an unmarried daughter. I wish to hand her over to you." Krishna said, "Bhishma, you are a Khan Brahmachari, celibate since birth. How can you have an unmarried daughter?" Bhishma said, Maharaj, my buddhi, my intellect, it has never done varan. It has never accepted anybody. This Kuwari Kanya, before I die, because death will be a painful experience. At that time, the buddhi may not remain nishchayatmak. Hence, before departing, I wish to offer it to you. Krishna consented. Bhishma, he offered his intellect at the feet of Krishna, and with Krishna in front of him, the great Bhishma, he departed from this world. As he left, the celestial sages, the celestial gods, they all came and offered their respects. Krishna subsequently departed to Dwarka. Out here, Uttara gave birth to a child. That child, when he was born, he started looking around. People asked, what is he looking? Narad said, he is trying to see the person he had seen in the womb. Krishna had given him darshan. So he got the name Parikshit. So Parikshit, the listener of the Bhagavat, has now appeared in the Katha. But how he became a listener, we have not heard that part of the story. When Lord Krishna departed to Dwarka from Hastinapur, Yudhishthira was ruling Hastinapur now as a righteous and dharmic king. He was the avatar of Dharmaraj. And in accordance with the magnanimity of his personality, he was giving the maximum love, respect and protection to Dhritarashtra. That Dhritarashtra whose sons had tormented him, Yudhishthira ignored the entire episode. And Dhritarashtra was living in the palace on the succor presented by Yudhishthira. Now Vidur, Chacha Vidur, when he had come to know that the battle of Mahabharata is imminent, he had departed from Hastinapur. He said, I will be on neither side. And when he came to know the battle is over, he returned for a little while. He was welcomed in Hastinapur by Yudhishthira, and he stayed in the palace. There, when he saw Dhritarashtra still in Deha, attached to the body, he scolded his elder brother in extremely piercing words. My dear brother, Dhritarashtra, how attached can you be to this world? That Yudhishthira whom you tormented to no end, and whom your children tried to kill in various ways. Today you are dependent upon the same Yudhishthira for your maintenance. Just like a dog lives on the food given by the master, the crumbs that Yudhishthira is giving, they are your subsistence. Fie upon such a life. The words had a huge impact on Dhritarashtra. That night, Dhritarashtra, the blind king, and his wife Gandhari, who used to tie a blindfold over her eyes, they, in the midst of the night, walked out without informing anybody. Vidur, of course, knew. He walked away with them. The three of them went off into the forest. Now there, Dhritarashtra, he sat down to practice spirituality. And he was in fact an elevated soul from past lives. So in a few days, he attained Samadhi. And subsequently, he manifested Yogagni from his body and decimated his body and departed. The chaste Gandhari, she committed sati by entering the fire that had manifested from her husband's dead body, and Vidur left from there. But the night that they departed, the next morning, Yudhishthira came to know that his uncles and auntie are no longer there in the palace. He was extremely distraught. Did I not take care of them very well? Was there some deficiency in my service to them? When Narad ji came, Narad said, Yudhishthira, don't you worry. They have gone to practice the sadhana for eternal welfare, and their departing from the palace is the appropriate thing to do. You continue to do your duties. So, after the departure of his elder brother, Dhritarashtra, Vidur continued his pilgrimage. We will meet him again in the Bhagavatam in a little while. In the meantime, let's see what transpired in Hastinapur. The years went by under the righteous reign of Yudhishthira. Parikshit had become a 15-year-old, the grandson of the Pandavas. Arjun had gone off to meet Sri Krishna in Dwarka once again. Out here, Yudhishthira started seeing ominous signs that some great disaster had taken place. Yudhishthira consulted Bhimsen, what is the matter? The clouds come but they don't rain. In the morning itself, the donkeys start braying and the horses start barking. The cows don't give milk. The calves have no desire to drink. It seems to me that something really bad has taken place. Is it that the shelter of our lives and our biggest treasure, Lord Krishna, has departed from the earth? Arjun had gone to meet him. Where is Arjun? In the meantime, Arjun was returning. When Yudhishthira saw him, he found that Arjun was dragging his feet. His face was ashen. The luster had disappeared. Arjun's eyes were downcast. Yudhishthira said, my dear brother, what is the matter? Have you committed a big sin? Have you eaten without feeding the women and the children? Have you burned a goshala? What is the matter? Why are you so downcast? How is Vasudev? How is Devaki? How is Ugrasen? And how is our dear Sri Krishna Chandra? Arjun spoke up. He said, my dear elder brother, the people whom you have named, Ugrasen, Vasudev, Devaki, they all have left the planet, and so has Sri Krishna. By the power of whom the whole world was fearful of my Gandiv bow. On his departure, that bow has become powerless, and the thieves on the way, they stole from me. The moment Kunti heard that Sri Krishna has left the planet, Kunti immediately decided that now there is no point living any further. She left her body right at that moment and departed. Out there, Yudhishthira became extremely pensive. He started contemplating that with the departure of Sri Krishna, Kaliyuga has now started. Bhimsen was explaining about the crimes that are being committed in the kingdom. And Yudhishthira said, yes, I knew it. So Yudhishthira then handed over the kingdom to Parikshit and he left. So this is the Swargarohan along with Yudhishthira left the Pandavas and Draupadi. The Swargarohan Leela of the Pandavas is mentioned in detail in the Mahabharata. It is not there in detail in the Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana because that knowledge doesn't fit into the sequence, so we will proceed further. Parikshit now became king of Hastinapur. He performed many Ashwamedh yajnas, and he too, in accordance with the tradition of his ancestors, ruled as a great, noble, powerful and righteous king, under whom the citizens were peaceful. One day Parikshit had gone to inspect his kingdom as the kings of yore used to do. He found a bull that had 3 legs broken. It was moving around on its only one intact leg. And there was a cow that was crying by the side of the bull. The bull was the personification of Dharma. Dharma has 4 legs: Satya, Daya, Tapasya, and Shuchi. Satya means truthfulness. Daya means compassion. Tapasya means austerity. And Shuchi means cleanliness. So, 3 legs of Dharma were broken. It was standing on one leg. The cow was the earth personified. The cow was crying. And Parikshit came close. He heard the conversation between the bull and the cow. The bull said to the cow, "Why are you crying? Are you seeing my miseries and that is making you miserable?" The bull tried to console the cow. What is happiness and what is distress? One person is unhappy because he's only got a 3-bedroom house while his friend has a 5-bedroom house. One person is happy because while sleeping on the footpath, somebody put a blanket over him. One person is unhappy because he cannot digest the badam barfi. And one person is happy because he's got a dry roti to eat. Happiness and unhappiness is all in the mind. The bull was explaining to the cow. In the meantime, one evil-looking man, he came and with a stick he started hitting the only intact leg of the bull. Parikshit was horrified. In front of a Kshatriya warrior like myself, a helpless animal is being beaten like this. How dare anybody do something like this in my kingdom? He gave chase to the man who was trying to break the bull's leg. And finally he caught up with him. And he said, "Who are you? And why were you perpetrating such a crime in my dominion?" That man said, "I am Kali, the age of Kaliyuga personified. The present age, according to our Vedic scriptures, is Kaliyuga, the age of darkness, hypocrisy, cheating and ignorance." So Kaliyuga said, "I am Kali." Parikshit said, "You need to get out of my kingdom." Kaliyuga said it is impossible. In accordance with the rule of God, we have Satyug, then Tretayug, then Dwapar Yug, then Kaliyuga. It is time for me to exert my influence all over the world. I will have to be given place in your kingdom. So Parikshit realized that even he cannot go against the will of God. If it is ordained that Kaliyuga is to come, it must make its appearance. So Parikshit banished Kaliyuga to 4 places. He said, go to the prostitute houses, go to the gambling dens, go to the slaughterhouses, and go to the places of intoxication. It is in the prostitute houses that cleanliness is finished. It is in the slaughterhouses that the quality of compassion is finished. It is in the gambling dens that the quality of truthfulness is destroyed. And it's in the places of intoxication that the quality of austerity is destroyed. And that is why one who wishes to practice dharma needs to be away from all 4. Having received that order, Kaliyuga put forth a question. He said, I won't find these in your kingdom. Give me something substantial where I can stay. Parikshit said, all right, you can stay in gold. Now, Kaliyuga got a place from where it could exert its influence. The time went by, Parikshit forgot about the episode. One day, he was leaving his palace and he put on his head a golden crown. Unknowingly, Kali was going to exert his influence on him. Because if you get the king, then you get all the citizens. But Parikshit went off into the forest. There he was feeling thirsty. He found a sage called Shamik Rishi sitting in meditation. Parikshit did not realize that the sage is so absorbed he is oblivious of the world. Parikshit said, can you give me a drink of water? Shamik Rishi did not hear, he kept sitting. So Parikshit should not have felt offended because there was no ego in him. But at this moment, he did feel insulted. There was a dead snake lying there. He picked it up and put it around Shamik Rishi's neck like a garland in the form of an insult and left from there. Shamik had a young son called Shringi. Shringi had gone to take bath. By virtue of his spiritual power, he came to know what had happened. When he returned from his ablution and he found the dead snake around his father's neck, young Shringi took it as a grave insult. And he delivered a curse that kings are supposed to be protectors of the citizen, and this king has done the reverse to a great sage like my father. I curse him 7 days from today. The most virulent Takshak snake will come and bite him, which will be the cause of his death. When Shamik Rishi came out of his samadhi, Shringi said, Father, this is what had happened and this is what I have done. Shamik felt greatly sorry. He said, my child, you did a big mistake. Parikshit is a noble king, so what if he made a mistake? We should have condoned it rather than become so furious. And he doesn't even know that you have delivered a curse. At least go and inform him. Shringi obeyed his father's instructions and he went to the palace. He told Parikshit that you are going to die 7 days from today because of a curse that I had pronounced, which I cannot retract now. Parikshit was unmoved. He took that reversal as a blessing. When he said, all right, in that case, I have got 7 days to save myself. Why bother with all these encumbrances of the world? He left his palace and walked off into the forest. That renunciation of Parikshit is exemplary. He did not even say, okay, I'm writing my will, after me you do this, you do that. My duty is over and complete. I now have a higher duty to perform. So he went off and sat, giving up eating and drinking on the banks of the Ganga in a place which is now known as Shukatal. When the great Parikshit, taking renunciation, sat down there in the mood of austerity in order to achieve spiritual enlightenment, the sages of the universe who came to know that something remarkable is going to take place, they started congregating there, reaching through the aerial pathway. And soon there was Ved Vyas himself, Vasisht, Atri, Pulastya, Pulaha, all the great sages. And they said, O Parikshit, O noble king, we have heard that you were cursed. Parikshit said, O sages, I too felt that I had been cursed. But now I don't think so. The consequences of a curse are bad. And here, I am having the good fortune of getting darshan of noble personalities like yourself. This is not a curse. This is a blessing in disguise. I have a few questions, spiritual curiosity. I will request any one of you to sit on the Vyasasana and answer my doubts. None of them sat. They waited for the one who was qualified. And that was the 16-year-old son of Ved Vyas, Shukadev Maharaj.